Hello guys, and welcome once again to another video. I just wanted to share with you a real quick uh way in which I look at the structure of the market, basically simply focusing on GBPUSD for this particular video. So I'm going to just right, let me start. I'll just do for October and November so that you see how you would have maximized opportunities in October and November for GBPUSD, right? So GBPUSD, looking at the daily time frame like this, we're currently in a bearish market or in a bearish order flow, whatever you want to call it. There's a lower high, there's a lower high there, right? There we broke structure here. You can see we broke structure right here. Um, right here we broke structure, as you can see. Structure was broken. That's a major break of structure like this. That's a lower high, lower low, right? Next break of structure there, right? To confirm that it's a lower high there as well. So after having sent this is my low. This is my current lower low right now. My current major lower low is this one right now. So you see, the market is still basically in an overall bearish order flow or bearish market structure, whatever you want to call it, on a higher time frame perspective, or on a lot or on a long-term picture perspective, right? So where we are, this is my low, meaning if we're going to take any sales from the top here, I'm targeting that low. So even if they come and they bounce, right, we would have made money coming down like this. But basically, if they're still in a bearish order flow market, we still anticipate them to keep on breaking like that up until we don't know when. So basically, looking at the inside structure now, we can actually see that inside structure, this was in July. This was in July, and right here on the daily, they tabbed a zone on the daily like this. They tabbed a zone. They actually tabbed a supply zone right there, right? So remember, this is my lower high up there. My lower high is up there. My lower low is down there, like this, like this. So after having drawn and identified this, if you follow internal structure, because remember I said I want to focus on October and November only. So if you follow internal structure, this was entirely bullish, bullish, bullish. And where this bullish order flow will end, that's our new lower high, because that one is our current lower high. So our new lower high is going to be the high where internal order flow is going to shift from bullish to bearish. So currently, if you follow internal order flow, this was a high here, because it did this, it shifted internal structure, like this. This was a low here because it broke structure there. This is a high because it also shifted internal structure. This is a higher low like this. So if you follow, let's follow internal structure. Where it's going to shift, that level is our external structure lower high. Once we now have an external structure lower high, the market, we're now targeting all the way to come all the way to the downside like this, right? So right here, we broke internal structure, meaning that's an internal structure higher high. Then here, right here, which is where the gist is. Right here, this is where we encountered our major change of character. That major change of character there, it's a shift of bullish order from bullish order flow internal to bearish. So meaning that high that established that shift of internal order flow, it's our what? This is our extreme lower high on an external structure perspective. This is our extreme lower high, that high. Lower high because it's lower than that one. So from there, remember I said I'm anticipating them to come all the way to the downside. So after a change of character like that, the next thing that we need to identify is an untapped zone up there. I can say an untapped supply there. There's also liquidity there. This one was tapped, this one was tapped. Untapped supply, there's liquidity there. Meaning we're anticipating something like a pullback before a continuation. A pullback before a continuation to the downside. So we're currently in a bearish structure currently internally on GBPUSD. So October, I just want to show you how you could have maximized opportunity. So right now on the daily, you've done your entire analysis, you've done your entire bias. Someone can come here and draw trend lines and all like this. This is just extra confluence that you could have used maybe to take these initial cells. These initial cells that went on to change character, you could have taken them by a simple trend line if you wanted, or even followed structure on lower time frames. Structure on lower time frames, you realize that they actually shifted structure earlier there. So you could have entered it in so many ways you could have entered these initial cells that change character. After this change of character, we're anticipating a pullback into that supply before a continuation down. So now we'll now be flowing in bearish order flow. We'll be taking ourselves from there, something like this, up until we check out this low. So meaning we are focusing, our focus is for the market to push into this supply before it continues going down, right? So after having analyzed all of that on a daily perspective, which is my main analysis time frame, right? Going down to lower time frames, whether it's 4 hour or 1 hour, I'm just going there for extra confluence. For example, on 4 hour, you can now see that internally now already that pullback that I'm saying we're anticipating a pullback. Remember, after this major change of character, anticipate a pullback. This pullback is happening to facilitate a what? To create a lower high, an internal lower high, because that's a low, that's a high. This one will be our lower high. This one is now a lower low because it's lower than this, which was not happening. As it was going up, you see it was creating higher lows, higher lows. Then here, this low was broken. Now you have a lower low. Once you now have a lower low like that, the market must now go up and create a lower high, which is what we're anticipating here. So basically, someone here can come and draw a trend line like this, right? This is in as much as it's not, there's nothing wrong with that, but there's more to that than just the trend line. There's more to this than just the trend line, right? There's more to this than just the trend line. What am I saying? So if you follow sub-internal structure, this was the previous lower high, lower low. Then there where this lower high was taken out, it's a change of character to say what we were doing previously, we're now doing the opposite. Previously, what were they doing? Previously, they were coming down, right? Previously, they were coming down, like coming down in bearish order flow, actually. Lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, something like this, lower lows, lower highs, up until they here. So here they are now saying we're now doing the opposite. The opposite. Up until they establish that pullback on that zone that I've marked there, because that zone is higher probability, as well as even if they come all the way up here, this is also a good zone here. On the 4 hour, this is also a good zone up there. Even here, they can even come right here. So there are three major zones basically that I'm anticipating this move to come into here, and there. This one is a higher probability. If it comes there, we'll take major sales from there, major sales from there. So meaning to the downside of things, here, this low, which is now a lower low, right? It's now a lower low because they've changed order flow. They shifted this internal order flow from bearish to bullish. So this is now our lower low. It being our lower low, the market, once we now have a lower low, the market must go up, right? So after you have realized that, so someone here can come and trade based on a trend line, but that's not the best way to do it. The best way to do, because trend lines, they're always manipulated. They're not the structure. Here, someone could have bought, then they're wiped out. Then they sell, they're wiped out. Then they buy, they're wiped out. That's why they're not so consistent, right? So when you follow the structure as it is, rarely do you find yourself being manipulated or anything like that. So this is now our swing lower low, meaning it's going to be our target if we're going to take sales from up there, here or here or here. That's going to be our major target to the downside. So currently our focus is this pullback. Remember, change character, we pull back to mitigate, then we continue. That's the three-step process in which the institutions move price. So right here, we now have a change of character, which is so clear. Clear change of character. We can see an untapped demand right here. Untapped demand, and we can also see liquidity just above it. These equal laws, it's all liquidity. And liquidity is one thing that institutions like to always collect before they go wherever they want to go. So right here, this is your high probability entry zone for the buys. This is your high probability entry zone for your buys. When you enter there, your target, when you enter there, your target is always the previous high, internal high, right? You can use this as your immediate target like this, because after they break there, there's always going to be a pullback, because after every full institutional move, there's always going to be a pullback. So this is your analysis on the 4 hour. Even if you go down to the 1 hour, you're simply going down there, maybe to shorten your stop loss like this, to refine the level like this. Once you have refined the level, it means you're going to enter there. You can put your stop loss below here or just below the zone like this. This is a almost 1:10 risk compared to the 1:8. It's actually 1:8, which is okay. So this is your entire analysis, right? Change of character here, like this. So before they changed this character, your entire focus was supposed to be on the bearish side of things, right? Your entire focus was supposed to be majorly on a bearish side of things. Even if you took these buys based on the trend line, if maybe you took, I know people, they like trend lines a lot. If you take these buys based on a trend line, right? There's nothing wrong. But if you understand structure, what is going on, so long you understand structure and what is going on, don't allow trend lines to divert your attention or divert your structure. So even here, someone could have taken a sell based on a trend line, this drop, which is not a problem, which is not an issue. The only thing about trend lines is that they are not structured, number one. Number two, they are not consistent, and they really have a lot to, they miss out on a lot of details when it comes to structure. So if you're only going to trade based on trend line, so yeah, even if you bought establishing this change of character, it was okay. You could have followed your entire buy up until they shifted structure. You could have followed your buy where they shifted structure, there you could have decided to come out. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So where they shifted, which is right here, meaning you could have entered your buy right here, followed this structure, establishing a change of character. After establishing change of character, you know that anytime soon they're going to pull back, right? That's a mentality of someone who understands structure. So once you follow that structure, you could have maximized on this buys. So even after changing, even after breaking your trend line, remember you're anticipating the pullback. You could have entered the sells, which were confirmed by this change of inner structure. This change of inner structure, it was a confirmation for this entry that you could have taken here. Confirmation that indeed we are coming down. So once they've confirmed that indeed they're coming down, you can even hold as far as that extreme zone where you're anticipating to enter your buys after liquidity has been collected. So make sure you can even target a liquidity zone. Either you could have even put your target here on this liquidity zone, or even right here on the zone where we're anticipating to buy. So you could have maximized on the buys here as well as the sells. The next major opportunity is going to be right here. So even the sells here, these sells, just after breaking a trend line like that, you could have shifted the stop loss to entry, logged profits, whatever. Any way that you could have wanted to treat it, you would have maximized as well. So even here, you could have followed inner structure up until where it shifts. Because where it shifts, that's going to be our level. Because it doesn't shift up until they've reached their zone. It doesn't shift. So you notice here, lower high, lower low. So they never shifted this up until they tapped into the zone. Up until they tap into their zone where they want to tap. Up until they tap into the zone where they want to tap like this. Right. So right here, I want you to notice something. I want you to notice something that is so profound. This is my low. Remember, this is your high. This up here is now your higher high, right? Because we're now in a bullish order flow internally to facilitate that pullback. Whatever happens in between this low and this high, it's just internal structure. So meaning so long this law is not taken out, we are still in a bullish structure. So long this law is not taken out, we are still in a bullish structure. Whatever fluctuations happen inside here, those are just internal structure fluctuations that are meant to divert or to confuse retail traders who don't understand structure. So if you follow, remember our entry, want it here. Here you could have taken this sell, made money with the sell, made money with the sell, even targeting this liquidity zone, as I said. Right here, notice what happened. Notice what happened. Right here on our zone where I was saying we are targeting to enter, it bounced, reached the zone, then started flying. You could have entered the entry straight away on the 1 hour time frame like that, or you could have also went down to a minor time frame, a lower time frame, like this one. If you want maybe a tighter stop loss, but all the same, it's just one and the same thing. Change of character here, came back to mitigate. You could have entered your entry around this block here. You could have also entered, so you could have waited for this 15-minute change of character here, then they come back, they mitigate, then they go. You could have entered there as well. So someone could have chosen to enter straight away on the 1 hour without 15-minute confirmation. Then someone who wants those smaller stop losses, you could have also gone there and gotten them. So right here, your entry, the TP there. So after the TP is taken out, we are now in a bullish order flow, and we always take our entries after after the pullback. After the pullback. So here, this was the pullback, then we enter. So right here, our TP is up there. As it will be going, it presents a lot of opportunities also to the upside. Notice how it tapped into this demand. That was an opportunity to actually buy as well. Tapping into this demand was actually an opportunity for someone who didn't buy on that other zone to also buy. So it presents a lot of opportunities as it will be going up. Same thing here, it came also to this order block, demand order block. So as it will be doing all of this, these are just opportunities to scaling. Notice how it went and flew all the way to the TP. That's a break of structure now. That's a break of structure. So after a break of structure, the same thing after change of character, you anticipate the pullback to collect liquidity before the continuation. Same thing after the break of structure. What do we anticipate? We anticipate an untapped. If there is an untapped zone, any untapped zone like this, let me go down to the 4 hour. Let's see our zone properly. So on the 4 hour, you can actually see your zones properly. On the 4 hour, you realize that below here, there's no zone that was not untapped. The only untapped zone is this one. So meaning that 1 hour zone that we saw, it's colliding with it's confluencing with the 4 hour zone, which is the zone that they will prefer. Any zone that is below there, they might not come there because it doesn't have a high time frame. So here, this is money that you made there. You made money with this buy, you made money with this sell, you made money with this buy. So even if waiting for the market to pull back into the zone, it's also an opportunity. Or even if you want to take advantage of this was a simple trend line breakout up there. You could have also maximized on the sells. You could have also entered the sells just by that simple breakout up there, targeting your zone. Once your zone has been tapped, we continue. Once our zone has been tapped like this, the most important thing is for 15-minute structure to also shift. Once it shifts, it's just a confirmation. Remember, you can enter on the zone or you can wait for 15 minutes to confirm. How does 15 minutes confirm? Looking at the previous structure, which was here. Once it changes that character, it's just a confirmation that we now have on 15 minutes right there. So there are so many confirmations that you'll get. So either you can enter a risky entry or you can wait for a confirmed entry. Whichever way you want to do it, either way, you are both correct. So that was the change of character on 15 minutes. Change of character so clear on 15 minutes. So clear on 15 minutes. That was a clear change of character. So the danger now of some of these levels, let me just go back to the 1 hour. So you see now on the 1 hour, they tapped tapped. Even here, they also came and tapped this demand. So most of those minor zones that you find on 15-minute, whatever, they might not be tapped because of they are not that strong. If ever there's any zone that is on the 1 hour that they find there, they will tap that one and actually continue going up. So that's why I said here, right here, the best decision that you could have made was simply to enter right here. Because the 1 hour, that 1 hour zone is confluencing with the 4 hour zone. Entering there, your target is that one. Right? We proceed. We continue, we continue, we continue. Right, beautifully, 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 beautifully. TP was hit. You would have entered this sales targeting this zone, as I said, and this buys as well. So other people who know trend lines alone, they can come and do something like this, which is not uh, enough, which is not enough information when it comes to me, because there's a lot of details that they are missing out on the market or what is really going on the market. So that was how you could have entered that entry. You bought here, you sold there, you bought here, you sold there, you bought here. So another break of structure. Remember, there are zones that I placed, those three major zones up there. That's where we want this market to go onto. So right here, our next zone, let's go back to the 4 hour. Let's see if we can find out where our next zone is, where the pullback can happen to, because so long they've mitigated like this, like this, like this, like that, they might not come all the way, all the way, all the way to most of these levels that are below here. So right here, I can see a fair value gap, a huge fair value gap from here to there. Let's go to 1 hour. Let's see if we can refine that. That's a fair value gap. So they can come also to this block. That's a block on the 1 hour that they can also pull back onto. So meaning our next set is something like this before a continuation. There, because here they mitigated, right here they mitigated as well. Right here, there's also a mini zone, which is also a good zone that we can also enter, which is just this one. So we can as well mark our entire level like this. Once we tap into that region, then we get our next set of buys up until we reach our levels up there. Once we reach our levels up there, we do the same thing coming down, because coming down, we will now be targeting that extreme low that I showed you on the daily, which is down, 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 which is here, right? Which is actually this one. So once we come in here, we'll take ourselves all the way targeting here. So this is where the market is currently, this is where GBPUSD is currently. Same thing that you did here, you could have also done here. You would have taken advantage of the sales. Remember, you're anticipating a pullback into this region before a continuation, meaning our next set of buys, we're targeting to see them right there. Once you tap into that zone, even if you go to 15-minute to get extra confluence, it's also okay. But that's our next zone that we'll be targeting. So even if I go down to 30-minute, just to see some little things. So on 30-minute, you find out, remember, after the break of structure like this, that's a full move. The pullback, you always anticipate it. So even if you look at inside structure, if you follow inside structure, you realize that inside structure, this sub inside structure, you could have entered a counter trade to the downside, which was a sell to the downside through this change of character. Change of character came back to mitigate, then they went. Where did they mitigate? They mitigated this supply, meaning you could have entered sales right there, and your TP or your target is down, down, down there where we're anticipating to buy. So you could have entered this sell right here like this. Like this. So even the TP, you could have, even you followed structure and notice where structure is going to shift. You'd have also used that as your TP, lower high, lower low. Here where they shifted, you would have also changed you would have also used that entire zone as your TP for these cells right here after they change or after they break right there. So this could have been another trade that you could have taken. So even the buy going up to the upside, you could have also taken advantage of the buys as well. These are just minor opportunities whilst you're anticipating the market to come all the way to this region before they continue up. So even here, you would have also started buying after the change of character coming back to mitigate. They mitigated. they mitigated this level, you could have started buying there. You would have started buying here. You buying there. Your TP is up there, up there, up there. You are targeting any unmitigated level or any zone that is above liquidity. Here there's equal highs, and above those equal highs, I can see there's also an untapped supply. So that untapped supply, it's a zone that you can actually target. You could have targeted or used for these buys. Entering a buy here, you could have targeted that. Even if it came back here, you could have also continued maintaining the same bias. So either here, you could have bought, or even here. After it came here, wait for the rejection, candlestick rejections. Those are just minor confluences that you look out for, targeting that supply at the top right there. From that supply, I'm anticipating a drop. That drop, where am I anticipating it to reach? I'm anticipating it to come into this region, which is our region of where I'm anticipating the pullback to come onto before the major continuation. So these are trades that you could have taken all the way from October up until November right now. These are opportunities that you could have harnessed and made money on GBPUSD. This is how we make our money. So guys, thank you for watching. I just wanted to share with you just a little bit of how I trade, how I look at the market alongside with the people that I trade with. So guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here.